In Module 3, Lesson 7, we're going to begin understanding equations. Remember, equations have equal signs, so they are expressions where we add an equal sign and some other side of the equal sign, and that will allow us to solve. In the opening exercise, your brother is going to college, so you no longer have to share a bedroom. You decide to redecorate a wall by hanging 2 new posters on the wall. The wall is 14 feet wide, and each poster is 4 feet wide. You want to place the posters on the wall so that the distance from the edge of each poster to the nearest edge of the wall is the same as the distance between the posters, as shown in the diagram. We need to determine what that distance is. So your wall is a total of 14 feet wide. You have 2 4-feet posters, and you need equal distances both from the posters to the wall and between the 2 posters. So in simple terms, if we have a total of 14 feet, and then we subtract 4 feet for each poster, that would give us 14 minus 4, which is 10, 10 minus 4, which is 6 feet to work with, and we need to divide that space by 3, since there are 3 parts to the space. And when we divide that by 3, we find that there should be 2 feet from the wall to the first poster, 2 feet in between each poster, and 2 feet and from the poster to the wall on the right. In a similar problem, your parents are redecorating the dining room and want to place 2 rectangular wall sconce lights that are 25 inches wide along a 10-foot, 8-inch wall, so that the distance between the lights and the distances from each light to the nearest edge of the wall are all the same. We need to design the wall and determine the distance. So the picture is already drawn for us, but the numbers are a little different here because we have feet and then we have the sconces measured in inches. We can't do the calculations until both measurements are in the same form. It's probably easiest to change our feet to inches. So 10 2/3 feet would be 120 inches. Well, it'd be easier for us to make the 10 2/3 into an improper fraction. So 10 times 3 is 30, plus 2 is 32. So we have 32/3 feet. And then if we multiply 32/3 feet times 12 inches in each foot, we'll get the number of inches. Now I'm going to simplify first because it will be much easier than doing division later on. 3 goes into 3 one time, and 3 goes into 12 4 times. And so now all we need to do is multiply 32 times 4, and that will give us the number of inches. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12. So 10 2/3 feet is 128 inches. Once we have the same units, we can do the calculation in very much the same way as we did the first part of the example. We start with 128 inches. We're taking 25 inches away for each of the wall sconces. And that will give us 78 inches. Which we then have to divide by 3, since there are 3 measurements. And that will give us 26 inches for each of the spaces. Now, if we wanted to write that as an equation, what we do is say 128, or 10 2/3, whatever you choose, 128 inches equals 3 times x, which is the space from the wall to the sconce, between the sconces, and from the sconce to the wall on the other side, 3 of those measurements, plus 50, which is the 25 and the 25, the measurements of the sconces. This would be our expression. And then, to solve that, we would want to take 50 away from 128, which would give us 78, equals 3 times x. And finally, we'd divide by 3 to find out that x equals 26. Let's look at example 1. This is a fairly common question on all kinds of tests. The ages of 3 sisters are consecutive integers. Remember, the definition of consecutive means one right after the other. So it will be 3 numbers, for example, 3, 4, and 5, that are right next to each other on the number line. The sum of their ages is 45. We need to find their ages. Obviously, it's not 3, 4, and 5. They ask us to use a tape diagram to find their ages, and this is a really good suggestion, simply because you can picture it before you have to set up the equation. So we're going to draw, there are 3 sisters, we're going to draw 3 rectangles and represent each of the sisters' ages with each rectangle. So when we look at the rectangles, you should find that the first sister's age is some number, which we'll designate as x. The younger sister, that's going to be our first rectangle. The next sister is going to be x plus 1. And the third sister will be x plus 1 plus 1 more, which we should recognize as x plus 2. We know that their sum is 45. So we're going to write the equation 3x plus 1, 2, 3 equals 45. And then we'll determine their ages from here. If we subtract 3, we'll get 3x equals 42. And then if we divide by 3, x will equal 14. So if x is 14, that means the youngest sister is 14, the second sister is 15, and the third sister is 16. 14, 15, and 16. And when we add these 3 numbers together, we should get 45. And we have one exercise we'll work together. Sophia pays a $19.99 membership fee for an online music store. If she also buys 2 songs from a new album at a price of 99 cents each, what is the total cost? So what we have then is $19.99. She's also purchasing 2 songs at 99 cents each, and we need to determine the total cost, which will be $21.97. Part B is if Sophia purchases N songs for 99 cents each, write an expression for the total cost. So we are not adding on to Part A. We're looking at her membership fee, and then she's purchasing some number of songs. So we have $19.99 plus 99 cents times N. And that would be our total cost. Now, Sophia's friend has saved $118, but isn't sure how many songs she can afford if she buys the membership and some songs. So we're going to use the expression in Part B to write an equation that can be used to determine how many songs Sophia's friend can buy. So what we have is the membership fee plus 99 cents per song, and we're going to set it equal to $118 because once we solve, we'll be able to see how many songs Sophia's friend can buy. Following the same way that we've solved in the past, we're going to take 118 and subtract $19.99 from it. And that will be our first step. And then after subtracting, we can divide $98.01 by 99 cents, and we'll find that Sophia's friend could buy 99 songs. Now we're actually jumping ahead here, but in Part D, what they were asking us to do is to substitute and figure out which of these 3 numbers would make this equation true, looking at the first equation in our sequence. And when you do that, I'm sure that you'll find 99 makes it true. Please review the relevant vocabulary. We have been looking at this vocabulary for a while, but it's very important that you review it. A variable is a symbol that represents a number. The equation is a statement of equality that has an equal sign. A number sentence is simply a statement of equality with just all numbers. And a solution to an equation with one variable is a number that makes the equation true.